Hey guys, Diggs Forever here. Today I'm going to go through the Rutus Alter71 menu system. I'm also going to be showing you my setup. There isn't very much online here about that walks through the menu and how to set it up, and I couldn't even find a forum really that discussed it. So after some reading and little bits of tips and tricks from different users, I was able to figure it out. I'm going to read from the manual too, so you guys can get a good idea what each setting does. So I'm going to start by turning this machine on. Just hit the power button. Put search coil up, then pull trigger. There's a little trigger on the bottom here. It's your pinpoint trigger. It's located right here. It wants me to pump the ground balance, but we're not going to do that. So I just hit it again, and that takes me to the main menu system. And from here, you get you got ground page, you got your arrow left, your enter, arrow right, and menu page. The enter button right here, if you hit that, that's your fast settings to your sensitivity, and use your arrows over to adjust that. Your discrimination, and your notch. You can notch out different sound profiles. I notched out the 118, 119, and 120 line just for iron wraparound. That's all I have notched out there. To back out, you hit the trigger. That'll take you out to there. And we will go into the menu page first. It's called Engine, Audio, and Screen. First up, we got the frequency. This detector, you can adjust your frequency in intervals of 2. So we'll go right to the end here. So anywhere from 4400 hertz, 46, 48, 5, all the way up to 18.4 kilohertz. So I leave mine at 7.4. Next we'll go down to hot rock. Now this function, I'll read it for you. This adjustment allows the detector's reaction to magnetic rocks and objects of particular high identification value to be modified. Magnetic rocks are plane field rocks which have residual magnetic properties. Magnets do not attract them, but they influence the detector's operation. They are essentially recognized by the detector as signals with an ID value of 0, and in most cases these objects can be isolated using the discrimination option, in the same way as simple steel scrap. Objects with exceptionally high ID values, 119 or 120, are large pieces of aluminum, aluminum sheets, aluminum canteens. In this way, hot rock's adjustment can be used to set the reaction to objects to both ends of the identification scale. This is the result of the detector virtually connecting both ends of the scale. The microprocessor does not treat the identification scale as linear, but rather circular, where values of 0 to 120 are connected, and therefore an object that is identified above 0 is automatically identified as a high value object, and vice versa. Hot rock adjustment is simply a slight tuning of the circular scale on which the detector's operation is based. In this way, magnetic rocks can be set apart from the 0 value and will be more clearly be discriminated. But equally, the aluminum canteens will fall into the 0 value and thus are also discriminated. It is equally possible to adjust the values in the other direction, moving the large aluminum objects to lower identification values, and in this way increase the effectiveness of detecting these kind of objects. But this may result in magnetic rocks giving a high, fuzzy tone. The factory setting for magnetic rock correction is set to neutral, and this is the best setting for 99.99% of search areas. But if for some reason there is a need to increase the masking of magnetic rocks, use the over button to set to the negative values. The adjustment of values into the positive range will increase the detection range for canteen into the motion mode. So this way is the best way to discriminate that. If you go into the plus range, you'll start knocking out other stuff. Okay, next we'll go down to reaction. This adjustment is the ability to select the speed of the soil filtering. It is an essential factor in the ability to detect large, deeply placed objects. The speed of the detection and its resistance to soil mineral content. Settings 1 and 2, used to search for large objects. It can on occasion be used to search for large coins in lightly mineralized soil. Setting 3, the universal setting. If you are not sure which filter to use, choose this one. Filter 4 to 8. Increasingly quicker filters should be used for searching for small, thin objects among steel junk. I have a setting of 3. That's just your reaction time, like the speed between targets and separation, basically. We'll go down to masking. This is what it says for masking. This setting is used to adjust the masking of short signals in the detector speaker. These signals come from the partially discriminated signals of bottle caps, iron, magnetic rocks, junk, etc. Masking improves the quality of discrimination. For a zero masking value, the detector will produce a tone for all signals, even the shortest ones. The small steel junk will be hard to discriminate. The detector will be noisy during the search. As the masking value increases, the operation of the detector becomes less noisy, and it becomes possible to search for non-ferrous metal objects amongst iron junk. Some may assume that masking should always be set to the highest value, but this is not the case. High masking settings can cause a lack of signal for objects on the borders of range, so the borders of detection, basically, edge of detection. In clear terrain, if the user wants to reach as deep as possible, the masking value should be set as low as possible. For each value of the reaction parameter that is the maximum level of the masking parameter. For each value of the reaction parameter, there is a maximum level of the masking parameter, above which the detector will fail to work correctly. The software detects this and will automatically, upon exiting the menu, correct the masking setting value if this occurs. I'll show you a picture of there's the graph for the values. Okay, so that's that. Now we'll go a page over into the audio. This is where we get into the TH levels. So, TH level, I have mine set at 3. The TH level, the threshold, is the background sound which is always heard while the detector is active. It can be increased or decreased depending on the user preferences and the level of noise at the search site. The level of the threshold should be set to so that it is only slightly audible. In this way, you can be sure that you will hear even the quietest signals from objects. The threshold is very important. It enables the all-metal channel to be correctly reset by the user. You can switch that by turning down. I like mine just like it said, so you can barely hear it, but you can notice it. If you have it too low, you'll forget about it and you won't even recognize it any longer. So setting a 3, I find. It's not too loud, not too low. Next we have TH tone. The TH tone should be set as you wish. Each user will have their own preferences as to the sound frequency which is most appropriate. I get mine at 150 hertz, so you don't want it too high because it'll be squealing in your ear, and too low it'll be grunting. So 150 is a good all-around setting, I find. TH sensitivity. The TH sense regulates the level of the threshold from the all-metal channel. This allows the operation mode to be modified. When the TH sense setting of 0 is used, the detector becomes motion. But for high levels of influence of all-metal channel, on the level of the threshold is also higher. For TH sense setting above 10, the detector switches to dual mode. I like the dual mode. I put mine on the 15. That's running all-metal and discrim at the same time. That's what dual mode is. TH sat. The TH-SAT function reduces the effect of external conditions on the operation of all metal channel of the detector. To put it simply, by using this setting, we can prevent the detector mistuning in the sun. Another important function of the SAT is changing the response of the all-metal channel. For high SAT settings, especially 20, the user has the ability to audibly differentiate between a large number of small objects laying at a shadow depth from one big object. A setting of 0 means that the TH-SAT circuit is completely turned off. A setting of 20 is the maximum speed available. Note: turning the TH-SAT circuit on can result in a decrease in the range of the detector's all-metal channel. The amount of range loss will depend on the speed at which the search coil is moved. I have mine set on 11. Audio gain, that's just your gain, so I get it on 36, so if something's shallow, I'll be able to tell the difference between that and something deeper. If you have it maxed out, all signals will sound the same. That's just your volume. Tones. So, with the tones, these are your audio tones. You have user 1, which I modify user 1, user 2, user 3. Then you got Relix 3, Relix 2, Relix 1, Coins 3, Coins 2, Coins 1. Each one of them gives a different sound profile. I like the user 1 modification. And if you select user 1, I believe you hit the power button, you can adjust your tones. So for each ID number, there's number 1, you can turn it up or down. I believe up to 600 hertz. So I have 1 through, I have it in 2-tone right now. I have 1 through 23 set on the lowest, and then 24 up to 120 set on 348 hertz. And that's how you do that. Let's take your trigger and go out. This has a built-in wireless capability for all audio. It's not functional yet, but I think in future updates it will be. Now we're going to go over to screen, and that's just your backlight. You turn your backlight up and down. ID type 12 kilohertz. So with your frequencies, whether you're on 4.4 kilohertz or 18, you can regulate the ID of targets to 12 kilohertz or 6. I think 6 kilohertz would be a better ID, but that way it doesn't change for each ID. So if you get a coin and you're on 4.4, it will ring up the same on that as if you were on 18.4, let's say, instead of changing, because let's say the dais, every time you switch frequencies, the ID changes on the object. Generally, the lower the frequency, the lower the ID. Hold time, that's just for your screen and English language. If you hit the quick press the power button, this will take you into the, you can change the programs. So you get deep, big silver, basic, coins, fast, ultra fast. These are all just preset programs. You can adjust them independently. Ultra deep. I run a modified deep program. So when you first fire it up, if you long press it and you powered it off, I'll shut it off and turn it back on. So you're turning it on. You have to ground balance it each time you do this. Put the search coil up and then pull the trigger. So you're out in the field, you put your coil up, even height, hit the trigger, and it's telling you to pump the coil, pump it. So that's how you ground balance. You do that until you'll hear a beep, and then it'll say ground balance complete. I'm not doing that, I'm in the house right now. Alright, so that's it. Hopefully this helps someone, and any questions, feel free to ask, I'm always available, so I'm normally pretty fast getting back to people. So thanks a lot, guys. Have yourself a good day.